we are totally over our supposedly allotted time. I'm going to quickly take, and I saw 3 hands, yes, and I'm going to ask you to very quickly pose your 3 questions, and then we'll just have a round of a response to that. So if you could resist any temptation to make a speech, and make 3 quick questions.
That's too hard at that.
Okay, we have second row there, first row here, and then
So my question is to Mr. Murray. You were talking about the ground reality. Undeniably, the Pakistani military has been very harsh and brutal. But what Graham Dog is doing is also, in some sense, pretty extreme. And unfortunately, the people on the ground in Quetta, for example, just to give you an example about the headmaster in Quetta, who was killed when he refused not to play the national anthem. I'm not taking any sides per se, but the thing is that under these circumstances right now, particularly with the whole world talking about terrorism, is it possible somehow a compromise could be reached?
Okay, question number 1, and we'll take all 3 questions.
Okay, so I'm going to be very, very quick, okay? So, you know, you said, you started off with Persona, and the first thing you said, one of the first things you said, you differentiated Punjab into an elite and a common sort of population, but you never did that with the Balochis, okay? So you said that it's not that they're opposed to Gwadar, but I beg to differ, they are opposed to Gwadar, because with all due respect to you, there is an elite in Balochistan, there are Sardars, it's a tribalistic society, and these Sardars, for example, want the status quo to remain. They will not accept anything which will challenge their power. That means development, education. That means, for example, you quoted Senator Sanullah. This is the same guy who described the burying alive of 3 or 5 women as custom, as Baluchi custom. They don't want, I'm sorry to say, you're saying that there's an organization. There's no organization. Whenever there are attempts to make development in Balochistan, there are always counter attempts by Baluchi separatists. They either blow up gas lines, they're blowing up, they're killing professors and lecturers. These are people with 20, 30 years of experience. You just killing them like that, killing Punjabi lecturers or killing lecturers or sort of academics from other provinces. These type of things are not ever going to lend support to your sort of stance on Balochistan, nor are they going to improve the situation. So I mean, that's my thing.
I spotted 2 questions there already. So one is about the elites that being opposed to development and so on. And the other was about the actions against violence against none.
Yeah, and then literally one more sentence. And you mentioned the missing people. It's a terrible thing. But for the first time in our history, we have a Chief Justice who's doing something about that. I mean, this shows that there is change occurring. And this oppression is occurring throughout Pakistan. It's not unique to Balochistan. This is happening throughout Pakistan. I don't think you should address it as a simply Balochi issue that's, specifically Balochis are being targeted. It's not. Throughout Pakistan, 170 million people are being oppressed. It's not just Balochistan.
Okay, so there are 3 questions in one. Idris, quickly answer.
My question on this independence demand has been there ever since. What's behind this recent escalation? And secondly, Dr. Yunus has talked about dominance of this group or that group. For 30 years, military has been dominant, and then, of course, the Punjabi establishment is there. I think it's basically the question of, and this Balochistan conflict, I think it's the question of might is right. Well, might is right. Balochistan, military is there because they have ruled with the power of the gun. Punjabi establishment has ruled with the power of the bureaucracy. At times, back in the 60s, Punjabi establishment have been complained against the Mahathir tribe. So I think the basic issue is that the institutions are not working in Pakistan. There are minorities in other countries. I think the judiciary and other institutions are working in other countries, and that's why things are going on smoothly. The NPM was a success because of their large numbers. Loyal nationalism is not success because of the positive numbers. So it's basically the question of might is right and the institutions not right.
Okay, so in the interest of time, again, I asked the answers to be relatively short as well as video. So starting with the question, who can remember the question? The one that talked about from the
Compromise, not particularly.
Compromise, that was the compromise.
Can they be?
Compromise on independence? No, we want independence. If they want us to be a province of the country, no compromise. Otherwise, we can talk about modalities, how they're going to withdraw, how the Pakistan is going to go out of Balochistan. They have to give a timetable. That's my politics. I don't know about the Baloch. Nowadays, most of the Baloch, they even think like that. There has to be withdrawal. Pakistan army has to withdraw from Balochistan and leave us to be independent as we were. The next, Sardar being the oppressor, Sardars are elected by the people. Sardar is not Musharraf who comes with a gun. Sardar is elected by the people. They are the representatives of the people. This is Pakistani propaganda saying Sardars are so vicious, they are killing their people. They use it as an actually, the person you're talking about is Israr Zari. Yes, Israr Zari. I know him personally. He is being paid well by Pakistan or PP government to say these things, to defame the Baloch culture, to defame the Baloch people. The same thing happened with Baloch young men. When Pakistani army put them in fire, put them in drums and put petrol, tarmac and burned them in Dera Buki, nobody said nothing. These women were killed very bad. And he said it was Balochi tradition. Is totally wrong. We don't have this. We do not even have capital punishment in Balochi tradition. We do not have capital punishment. The revenge killing, that's a different thing. Law does not permit to kill someone else. By law, we don't have it. So the third thing was Chief Justice. The Chief Justice came, since he has come, there's another 400-500 people have disappeared. He's there, but people are still disappearing. Even yesterday, day before yesterday, I heard that 5 young men have been taken away from Quetta. And the head of BRSO was taken away from Karachi. So people are still disappearing. Nobody comes out, and everybody goes and disappears somewhere. So, or you find the dead bodies, as I've seen. The last one, escalation.